I'm a literal walking miracle. My name is Rezurrection, and this is my testimony. I struggled with drugs my whole life. From the age of 12 years old, I started smoking marijuana, and it eventually led me to doing crack cocaine and cocaine through college, and I ended up selling drugs just to support my habit. But it goes deeper than that. You see, God came and He saved me over 10 years ago through an outreach in my neighborhood, and I gave my life to Christ, and He took all the drugs away from me. But you see, I had a little problem going on in my body I didn't know about. It was called avascular necrosis, and I was an asthmatic child, and I took a lot of prednisone, and it caused this disease in my hips. I started having problems walking around, and my femur heads were deteriorating, so the doctors told me I needed to get my hips replaced. And January 2011, I got my hips replaced. My first left one and then right one in May of that year. But a little bit before that, they started me on narcotic pain medication. And I started, all the opioids. It's a real epidemic right now. And but I started on that, right before I had my surgeries, about end of 2010, end of 2011. After getting my first surgeries, the hips that they put in, the metal-on-metal hips, they failed, and causing me to get a new set of hips put in. So after they failed, I got a new set of hips put in, so that's 2 surgeries on both hips. And then I kept having problems on the right hip. So 2014, 2015, and 2016, I had surgeries on my right hip. So I had 8 total hip surgeries, 6 on the right, 2 on the left. Ended up losing my right hip, so I don't have a right hip anymore. That's why I say I'm a living, walking testimony, a miracle walker through the power of God in my life. So let's take it a little bit deeper for y'all. During all these surgeries, I told y'all I started the pain pills before the surgeries. And then when I got into doing the surgeries, I was getting the medication through IV a lot. And I started to like it, and I started looking for more ways to advance the high in my life. And, got really depressed and felt not like a man. I couldn't work, I couldn't support my family. And I just wanted to wallow in the pain and suffering that I was going through, so I turned to drugs more and more. I ended up snorting my pain pills, and when that didn't work, I ended up shooting up my pain pills and heroin as well. And I have the scars and the track marks still on my arms as a reminder today of what I've been through. My wife caught me numerous times, and I went to rehabs and detoxes, and then I would have to have another surgery. So the medicine was getting pumped back in me again, and it was a vicious cycle. I just kept going back and forth, until August the 6th, I believe, or the 14th. Beginning of August 2016, my wife caught me with a needle hanging out my arm in my little man cave that we built. And it was the first time in my life that I said, I have a problem. And, we got on our knees together, and I just asked Jesus to help me really for the first time. And I told God that I know I can't do it on my own, and I need you. And at that moment, I kid you not, He took it from me. I had no withdrawals. I had no thoughts of it, of going back. And it's been over 2 years now, and God told me to go and write this story. And I just want to be real with y'all, man. It's a real epidemic with the fentanyl, the heroin nowadays. I'm losing so many friends. Every single month, I'm losing another friend back home. I'm from right outside of Baltimore, in the D.C. area, where Baltimore is heroin city, and it flows from there through this country. And it's just an epidemic. But I just want to let y'all know that Jesus can take it from you. He died on the cross for that. He already conquered it. That's been defeated, and you can have victory in it. And power of life and death is in the tongue. Speak it and claim it and say, I can't do this on my own. Jesus, I've tried my own plans. I've tried drugs. I've tried women. I've tried drinking. I've tried the streets. And no plan is better than God's plan. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that some of y'all watching this might think, well, how is your life good? How is this good that you don't have a right hip? How is God good? And I want to tell you this. I have no right hip, and this is the best I've walked in my whole life. I've never been more happy. I've never been more full of joy because what God has done in my life, and that I get to share it with you and hopefully give you hope in Him. Not in me, in Him. This is Resurrection, and you just heard my testimony.